All right, I'm hoping y'all can see that because I can't see y'all.
Yes.
Um, but okay, I just want to make sure. Um, so I just wanted to introduce y'all to a little bit about what I do. Short story. I know many of you knew that I was working for the Family Sunshine Center as a children's therapist, but now I've had to pivot and do something different. So now I'm working for Montgomery Public Schools. And I'm working in their Office of Student Support Services as a communities and schools site coordinator. So that is a mouthful, but all of this to say, we have several site coordinators across Montgomery Public Schools, and mainly what we focus on is attendance. We try to eliminate any barriers that would keep anybody from being able to attend school, whether it's basic needs, transportation, um, anything that we can do to support the student to get out of their learning environment. That is what we do to support. We are currently in 13 schools, I believe, and I think we are trying to find site coordinators for 2 more. Um, and so if y'all are, interested in getting that confirmation, in those coordinators, I don't mind sharing that with you. But that is basically our role. So let these things y'all know. I'm from Montgomery. I graduated of Clark Atlanta and the University of Alabama. Um, I'm a licensed clinical social worker in Alabama and in Illinois. Illinois is new. um, I'm also a TFCBT certified therapist. And so when I was in my previous role at the Family Sunshine Center, I got that certification because I was primarily working with children that experienced trauma. And so I spent over 4 years in that role. I've probably been with communities and schools for maybe about 4 months now. Um, and so another thing about me, I love art, I love music, I love so those are things that I use in therapy and I'm able to use a lot in my role at the school. And I also, for mom, y'all seen him pop up sometimes in our calls if y'all been on calls with me before. Um, so I have a dog, and so a lot of what I like to share with people is things that are like relatable, um, especially with working in an environment with kids. Um, a lot of what I do is get to know you things. It's arts and crafts, so like we'll draw pictures and we'll share some facts about each other and get to know each other a little better. And in this role is no different than what I was doing in therapy. You're still building rapport and getting to know your students, especially the ones that don't frequently come to school. You want to make sure you build a good relationship because that could also be a motivating factor for them to want to attend school. So what is Communities in Schools? So it is a program that was funded by Bill Milliken in 1977. So this program has been around for a really long time. It is nationwide, so it's not just Montgomery Public Schools. It's in several school systems across the nation. And it was created with the focus of connecting students to support and resources. And so kind of, back to what I said originally, this program was really anticipated for building those community resources for students. So if there is a need where you have a student that is not able to get to school because they don't have gas in their car, we could find someone that'd be willing to donate gas cards. Or if we have a student that is experiencing homelessness, then we're going to try to work with the district to, assist them the best way we can. So the biggest thing with this is just community resources. A lot of what we do programming wise is getting community involvement. And we'll talk about that a little later. Another focus is just building relationships. So of course we're building relations with the community, like we're getting to know our partners and we are forming healthy relationships with them, but we're also building healthy relationships within our school, with teachers and staff, because often I'm pulling students from class. So you want to make sure that you're having a good rapport with the teachers at the school. And just making sure that you're having positive relations with your students. I make sure, like, when I see my students in the hallway, like, I wave. I even have students that aren't mine that come wave and say hey. And also just having healthy, like promoting healthy relationships to the kids, like letting them know that, you know, there's supportive adults in their lives is really important. So that is pretty much the focus of communities and schools. It's relationships and resources. And so the founder, he had this quote, and I had to put it in here. It's not programs that are transforming young people's lives, it's relationships. And that's something that's really stuck with me throughout my work, not just with communities and schools, but just throughout my time as a social worker. I think that's a good quote for all of us to kind of remember, is that a lot of what we're doing is about relationships. It's not just about the program we work for, the agency we work for. It's about building those relationships. So the ways that communities and schools can support students, it's a long list of things, but the biggest things I see myself working with students on is academic assistance, attendance, and behavior. The academic assistance piece, I think, is really crucial when you have a student that is missing a lot of school. That just comes naturally, because if you're missing days, you're missing teaching time, you're missing classwork, you're missing assignments. So you're going to get behind. Grades might kind of fall off. So academic assistance is really crucial to what I do. A lot of times I'll pull my student from class when the teacher is like reteaching, and we'll do homework assignments, anything that they're doing in iReady, we'll do it together. When it comes to the attendance piece, I work with the babies, so I'm at an elementary school, so there's only so much education I can give them on attendance. A lot of what I do is with their parents, and just, you know, making sure that when I do speak with them, it is in a tone that is understanding, because a lot of times parents can feel like it's an attack on them when you're talking about attendance, especially now that the school district is kind of like getting harsher when it comes to attendance. And so I'm sure parents are tired at this point of everybody calling them, including me. But we just want to give them like the education and the resources. So a lot of times I'll start off by asking parents, like, I was really concerned, because I saw that he was missing a couple of days. Like, is there any way that I can assist you in getting him here? To me, phrasing is really important. So I try to make sure that I phrase it well. And then the behavioral interventions, I work alongside our PBIS team. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, and I'm not going to tell you what it stands for because I can't remember. But basically, the focus is behavior. So his team will discuss those students and find different ways to support them. So whether referring them out to a therapist or specialist, or referring them to me in-house, and that's another way that I can support in the school. And of course, if I was working with older kids, I could do college and career prep, helping them figure out what they want to do, next steps. So the biggest thing that I will say, communities and schools, is really broad, but it's based off of needs. One thing that I do as soon as I enter a school, I'll do a needs assessment to see what I can do to support my school. So when I first started here, there wasn't like a set needs assessment. I just made one. So I did a needs assessment with teachers, administrators, and parents. And then I kind of walked around the school and kind of asked students like what they felt like some of the needs of the school were, so I can get familiar with ways I could support. And so specific to my school, at Danley Elementary, one of the biggest things that I noticed was a challenge was the sense of engagement. And I would say kind of engagement all around. So parents, there's really low parent engagement. They don't typically come to events unless it's like awards days or something celebrating their students. So if you're having them come to engage with something else, they're probably not going to come. And a lot of times it's really hard to communicate with them because they're not as accessible. We don't have a PTA. So just in noting these things, I made that one of my priorities. And so we'll go a little bit deeper into that. So my role at the school, I work really closely with the school support team and school leadership. So the school support team are people that I've identified that can help support what I'm doing with the students. So this is the school social worker. This is the school counselor. These are reading coaches. This is whoever wants part of the support team and, help me to do what I need to do for the kids. So, I also coordinate with partners and service providers with students. So this is just building outside partners. I actually recruited my old job to become a partner. So it's a lot of different, partnerships that I could have, but a lot of it is just to support our students, not only with their academic needs, but also giving them incentives to come to school. One other thing I do also coordinate support to impact the school culture. So that's kind of what I was speaking to about, like the climate with the parents. I'm working on something for the parents as we speak. So I also have to case manage 10% of the student population. So right now the population of Danley is, I want to say, like 570. So at some point I'm going to have 10% of that population. Right now, with me just starting, it's going to be 25. So we're going to keep building over time. But the purpose of that is just to eliminate chronic absenteeism and support those students. And of course, we're going to monitor and adjust and report on all the things that we're doing to support. So just like we would do any case management, we're going to make sure that what we're doing is working and adjust it as needed. Okay, so this is our model. And this is kind of what I was speaking to when I was talking about like the needs assessments and the planning. So when I do my needs assessment, I want to make sure I'm getting feedback from the experts on their situation. So that's why I'm talking to teachers. I'm talking to support staff. I want to know, what is the school environment like? And I want to know, how can I and so by doing that needs assessment, you're going to get honest, raw feedback from people that's experienced it. Are you going to be able to change it overnight? No, but at least you're aware of it. So the next piece of that is the planning. So this is when I do a school support plan. So the school support plan is how I'm going to work on the school as a whole. So right now, how I'm supporting the school is with attendance. That primary focus. They want kids in the building and they in class. And then the third step, I'm going to look for supports. So this is where I look for people that can help support our students. So let's just say I have a student that is struggling academically, and they might need some more outside support than me and their teacher. So I could coordinate with JAG and get some of their students to come over and work with that student and tutor them in that subject. So it can be, that type of thing, like building those partnerships and relationships. Like, I know someone that does this, so now they can come support the student in this. And then, of course, I'm doing evaluation. So a lot of what I do in this job is very data driven. So I'm looking at PowerSchool. I'm looking at all of the data pertaining to Danley periodically to see what the numbers look like. And if I'm seeing that there's an increase in chronic absenteeism, of course, I'm going to look and see what are we doing to support those students in coming to school? Do they have any individual needs that we're just not aware of? There are some kids that have excused absences because they have a 504. But there are some students that may not have identified 504s and they might need one. So that's when we're evaluating, we're looking at those things that we're missing. And then we're monitoring and adjusting. We're going to look and see what needs to change and what we can do differently to support those students. And then the last is proven success. So we want to see numbers. We want to see things track and change. And so with that, these are our goals for the school year. So Danley's goals are pretty simple. We want to increase the average daily attendance. So these are the number of days that students are coming to school. We want to make sure that they're coming to school as much as possible. And I keep emphasizing attendance to y'all, but I just want y'all to have some examples too, because I've been getting referrals lately and the numbers are extremely high. I had a student that was referred to me the other day and he's already missed 50% of school. And so he's definitely chronic and he is kind of beyond what I can do at this point because he was at 50% in January. So he's pretty much missed, I think, like, I don't know, like, I think they've only been in school for like over 100 days. I think they've missed like maybe 50 or 60 days. So when we have students like that, we just want to make sure that we are tracking that and we're looking at that to see, is there a way that even if we can't stop them from being chronic, we can increase how many days that they're coming to school. So that's the goal. Okay, so this is our attendance data for Danley so far this school year. And so these are things that I ran reports on in PowerSchool to get these values here. So as y'all can see, our average daily attendance, it decreased in the second 9 weeks, and our chronic absenteeism went up. And so that means that there is a lot more work to be done to try to make sure that the students are coming and engaging. One of the things that I've been doing to help support is planning events. So with the events that I have planned, a lot of times they are geared towards attendance, but they can honestly just be fun events for the kids. So the main focus is trying to get them engaged. So you drill them with attendance, they're probably not going to be engaged with that. So I try to keep a balance of like fun things to kind of keep them motivated into coming. So I actually helped plan an event like maybe a few weeks ago, and it was kind of an accident. I kind of got roped into it. We did a Mardi Gras parade, and that was my first time really having to get vendors and connect with people and try to find people that will come and participate and donate. And so I needed that exposure so I can kind of see, okay, this is how this is going to work. This is the planning that goes into it. This is the numbers as far as like the money and the input. And so with all that being said, is that some of the things that I do can be free, but a lot of the things are not. So, and we're going to get into some of the things I do have planned so y'all can be aware of that. So I'm going to stop here for just a second. Hold on. Can y'all still hear me okay? Okay. So I know that was a lot of information, but do y'all have any questions about any of that, any of the attendance things or any of like what those things mean? Okay. So And I'm gonna go back to my screen share so y'all can see the timeline of events. So okay, what I was just speaking to when it comes to incentives. So um a lot of times my incentives can be like school wide, or they can be just small groups. So it could just be my case managed students, where they have an incentive. So like let's just say like I group my students together and they all had an increase in their average daily attendance. Then of course I would, want to celebrate that. So I might give them cupcakes or they might have a pizza party. So that would be an incentive for my case managed students. At the tier 3, I can do attendance incentives for just individual students. So I might have one student that I'm working with 101 and like we're just tracking, to see improvements, whether it's in attendance or academics or whatever it is. Like I have one student right now where we're tracking behavior. So what I do with my behavior kids is like, okay, I want you to get smiley faces all week. And if you do, then you'll get a treat from my treat jar or whatever. So that's kind of my little small incentives for 101. The big incentives that are kind of more costly are the school wide ones, because it's, the entire school, and we are extending things to help support everybody. So one thing that Danley does well, though, is that they already have some things in place. Like right now, they do an attendance, and I think that's so cute. So the kids that have like perfect attendance get to come and like have like a little 20-minute dance party to celebrate their perfect attendance. They also have like incentives for parents. I think at one point they were doing like a gas card drawing for parents. So it's a lot of different things that they've done already. I think I'm just kind of tasked with just raising the bar a little bit higher and trying to improve the attendance overall. So these are my upcoming events. Like I said, I am trying to get more parent engagement. So I have an attendance workshop that's coming up on the 19th. And it's really cute. I made this cute little flyer for it. So it's, what is it called? Make attendance a piece of cake. And so we're gonna have a little cupcakes. It's gonna be really cute. And so I'm trying to get parents like comfortable with speaking to me. My goal moving forward is to start doing like parent workshops, like maybe once or twice a month, and give them the chance to just share. And it not necessarily just on attendance, but just like having a free space to like just talk about some of the issues that they're having, whether it's in the school environment or whether it's like home life or work-life balance, whatever those things are. I want to start hosting those. Right now I'm also doing a drawing for the teachers called Gifts of Love. So every week I draw 2 names and I give gift cards to 2 teachers. So that's been going really well. Another event that I've been kind of looking at planning is either having the fire department come out and doing like a tour for the kids with perfect. And also, and it sounded really cute because she said that they get a career and then get money and they have to learn how to budget accordingly. And so then the winner with the most money, they get a prize at the end of it. So that's something that I kind of thought would be kind of cute for March. And then April, I wanted to host a pizza party for the classes that had perfect attendance during testing week. That might be a lot, but I mean, I just wanted to have these little ideas. One thing I know is that when it comes to attendance, there are a lot of barriers that we may not be aware of. Like I said, it could be health reasons, it could be transportation, but it can also just be it could be behavior as well. Sometimes I've had kids that they are not attending school because of their behavior, because they're suspended, or it could be because they're not even zoned for the school they're attending. So all of these things play a role. And so I've been trying to be creative with some of the incentives that I've been doing so they're not mimicking ones they already have in place. So those are those. And this is my contact information for the school. Um, so yeah.
I think she froze. Let's give her a minute. While we wait for her to come back, oh, maybe she's coming back. I would love to challenge your tired brains a little bit since Renee came back to share this with us as a clinical social worker. And maybe while we're waiting for her to uh, reboot back up, we can, at least two or three people can kind of come up with a question we would like to ask her.
I want to know, how are they dividing the schools among the workers, like the social workers within the system?
Did you hear that, Renee? You didn't hear it? Oh, you're muted, babe. You're muted, even though you're so beautiful, but you're
Oh,
muted.
thank you. Oh my gosh. I just feel like
I'm
this.
curious about your plants in front of you. I'm loving that plant life right there.
Oh my gosh. And it's a fake plant. It's just,
Oh Lord.
we're here for aesthetics. um, but I hate that like my Wi-Fi is just being crazy. But what was the last thing y'all heard me say?
You said, well, that was it. And then while we were waiting for your Wi-Fi, I asked people to come up with questions, and Leandra had a question. Is it okay if she repeats it?
Yes, please.
Hey, and congratulations on the new position. What I had stated was, how do they divide the social workers or the community workers among the school in MPS school system?
You said how did they do what in the school system? I'm sorry.
How do they divide you guys up within the school systems? Like, how many schools does each social worker has?
Okay, so and so that's a good question. So it's kind of tricky. We work alongside the district social workers. We're really under the same umbrella. So we're all under student support services. The social workers have several schools that they're servicing, versus us, we just have one designated school. So we're kind of able to put more of our focus on that one school. As far as choosing the schools, they were kind of chosen for us. So whoever was kind of open to having us in their school, housing us there, and supporting us in that way, that is kind of how those schools were chosen. And so we have 13 schools that we're currently in. I can try to name them, but it's a lot of them. But I know for sure we're in Danley, Delrata, Vaughn Road, Chisholm, where else are we? Highland Gardens, um, Brubaker Middle, Brubaker Primary, Brubaker Intermediate. Those are just to name a few. We're trying to get into JAG. We just don't have anyone in that position yet. And of course, with JAG, we probably need 2 coordinators because it's such a big school. We're trying to find someone for intermediate because the person that started with me left. So there's still some positions open, but yeah, so it's several schools that we're in. It's just depending on the principal and whether they're open to having the program there. But like I said, it's a district-wide issue. I think most of the schools need that extra support because there's just what's been happening is they have these kids that are chronic, but they're not sending letters home. They're not sending the truancy. And I hate to brag on the magnet schools, but they're doing it. Like they're the ones that are sending the letters home. The traditional schools are not sending them home because there's no reason why I should have gotten a kid that has missed 50% of school. Why hasn't he had a truancy report? Why is he coming to me? And I just started in this role. So it's a lot of gaps. And so I can see where my position is kind of helping to fill some of those gaps.
Another question?
One more last question.
Oh, go ahead, Leandra. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's kind of confusing. So basically, you're saying they're district social workers, right? And then they're community. What is the title again? I'm sorry.
Communities and school site coordinator.
Got it. Okay, so basically, community workers. So community workers only have one school versus the district social workers have several schools on their caseload, basically. But you're all up under Montgomery Public Schools. Okay, got it.
Yes.
I'm curious when you're under Birmingham, but I'm curious when you're hearing Renee talk about all of this, what's the difference between what you do and what Renee does?
So, I'm a charter school, public charter school. So we're outside of Birmingham and we are our own district. So what Renee does, Renee focuses more on attendance. I focus more on mental wellness, like their anxiety and their depression and how they function in school. Now, one of my master social workers, she does do similar things that Renee does, attendance. She is there. She doesn't report them to truancy, but she is there to provide that support, what Renee's doing. So she do like the parties, the incentives, trying like if they miss like 3 days of school, she try to do their early warning where she connects with them to see what's going on. So she does that part. I do more of the coordinating with outside resources and doing referrals for therapy and things like that. And I did have a question, Renee. My question was, with the district social workers in your position, how do you all connect? Are y'all like dividing the workload where you're the only one focusing on attendance? Or how do you go by communicating with them to so you won't be double down in the same thing that the district social workers already do?
Well, unfortunately, this is something that me and the social worker complain about all the time because there is no real boundary between what we're doing. And a lot of what the district is doing, it's kind of like you said, like they're all trying to strike the same problem, if that makes sense. So like the social workers have a list of schools that they have to call, but it's kind of it's overlapping with what I'm doing too. Because what my understanding is, at least with my school support plan, and I'm talking about the one that the school did, they want the teachers to reach out first, so be their initial contact, and then they want them to be contacted by me, and then they go to the district. That's in our plan, but that's not what's happening. So it's a lot of, like you said, it's like a little confusing because the social worker's calling people, I'm calling people, the school's calling people. So I wish there were more set boundaries in those roles.
I had that exact same question, Quinn, because we had Jessica Parker, who's a school social worker under Montgomery Public, and I wanted to know what the difference was. And so then Renee, as a clinical social worker, I always am challenging, like how, since this is new for um, Montgomery Public Schools, I'm going to assume it's newer, right?
Yeah, so this program has only been in Montgomery Public Schools for 3 years.
So this feels like an opportunity for you to create what it's supposed to look like. Yeah, what are you doing?
Okay.
Honey, you came back to supervision. What do you think was going? This
I
feels like an
did.
opportunity. I love those opportunities, so don't shy away from them. This feels like an opportunity for you to create what this role is supposed to look like. And so I heard
Yeah.
you say, um, I wish there were some separation. I don't want us wishing, I want us doing. You know what I mean? I want us not wishing and waiting on someone else to separate it out, but for somehow you to make it distinct to what you feel like it should be doing. What would
Yeah,
that?
and I think
Yeah, go
me
ahead. Mhm.
I was just gonna say, I think me and the social worker, I do kind of like that we're in the same space. So we share a trailer. So we have no choice but to talk about it because it's just like it's um it's like double work, really, because she has several schools already, like, and I feel like our role kind of makes it more intimate, like because we're the school's person. So I just wish they would follow that more because sometimes when there's like things that happen at the school, they go straight to her. And I'm like, there's some things that you could send to me before it gets to her. So I just think there's no like hierarchy. Like it's just kind of like whoever I know, I'm gonna send them this problem, so it's off of me type of thing.
Trying to find my mute button. So what I hear is part of you distinguishing out this role and creating it is making yourself more visible in this particular school.
Yeah. And it's hard because I'm in a trailer, I'm outside, I'm like with all the specials and the coaches. So I have to like make more of like a conscious effort to be seen. So like I'll walk the halls, like I say hi to the kids, like they all come and hug me. A lot of them I don't even know, but I'm just like trying to get them to
Mhm.
like be familiar with me and what I do. Like I had a kid today, he was like, "What do you do here?" Like, "You work here?" I'm like, "Yeah." So like I'm trying to put myself in those spaces. Like I presented at like the honors day ceremony so people will know who I am. Like I just been trying to like give myself some more exposure so that role is clear. And so I think it's hard too because I am new to the role,
Mhm.
but um it's hard being new and not being clear. That's one thing that really bothered me when I first started is like I know how to be a social worker, but I don't know how to do this. So I need clarity on how to do this. And I think student support services are not on the same page. Um, the social worker kind of gave me some insight and she told me that it was some pushback between my boss and her boss about what we're all supposed to be doing. And I'm just like, so we're not on the same page. We're not clear.
Do you have some ideas that you've been writing down as you go along at the end of the school year, you could potentially create a proposal?
I mean, I
Renita,
could.
why are you pushing me out of my comfort zone?
I'm not in supervision.
I know, but you are
But no, I
forever a
mean,
goddess.
yes, I have like briefly said something to my supervisor about because I'm a very structured person. Like I don't deal
Wow.
with chaos well. Like I like to know like what I'm doing before I do it. And he's kind of just like, "Oh, we have a meeting tomorrow." Like, and I'm like, that bothers me. I don't like that. So We have briefly talked, but I think there's another issue with that too, is like he is over a lot of things. So when you're over a lot of things, your focus is not always on this particular program. So I think that's also another part of it that makes it challenging to give that feedback of like, because he's talking about adding other schools. And I'm like, well, you want to add other schools, but there's 13 people that are just kind of out in the wind. So I'm hoping that next school year, like we can kind of like address some of those things. And I think another thing I will say is we all started at different times. So I think that plays a role too. His other site coordinator started in August. I think besides one person, I think she's been here the whole 3 years. And then my group started in November. So that's also kind of, you know, the hard part too.
Hard but not impossible. And I love, we got to talk, I think, a week or so ago, and you have some ideas about the teachers' lounge and using that artistic, creative ability that you have to. I think, Renee, uniquely, you have some things that you can do for Danley, because I'm going to assume that even though the social worker in the trailer with you, she might have some other schools, and Danley is your school, or yeah, okay.
Yeah, she has several other schools. Like we a lot of times we're coming and going. Because I know she goes to Jag, Katoma. She has Danley. Like she has several places, so she's not always there. So I think that's why I've been trying to be more personable. But like at first, like I'm like just going in with the mindset like I always do, like I'm gonna just work with my kids, I'm gonna go home. But now that I'm seeing like all of these like other things, like those teachers are burnt out. They're tired, they're over it. The kids are showing out. Like it's a lot going on. And then they're short staffed. Like they have not had a full fifth grade staff this entire school year. They had a lady that was hired before Christmas break. She's already gone. Like so they spread fifth grade across 3 teachers. So it's a lot. It's a lot that's weighing down on them. And I think until we can kind of work on like the relationships with the parents, the teachers, like I just don't see the students wanting to engage and come to school. Like I just think in my brain, logic, I don't know if it's just a social worker brain, but I'm like, I just feel like it's like from the ground up. It's like, how can we be excited about coming to school and my teacher is like over it every day? Or how can I be excited about coming to school and my parent is not like barely getting out of bed to get me here? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I just feel like that motivation is so important and that encouragement is important. And so I just try my best to like check in with the kids. Like I said, I have like my unofficial kids. Like I feel like I'm a part of the kindergarten like crew, and I'm not even a kindergarten teacher, but like I just take kindergarten babies in my wings. And I'm like, you're having a moment, so let's go for a walk. So, but that's me supporting that teacher. That's me building a relationship with that teacher. Because they need that little mental break. They're stopping class for this one kid, and they have 19 other kids. So that's kind of been how I've been making this role my own. I think me and my principal get along because I just tell her things that I want to do, and she's like, "Okay, well, just let me know when you want to do it." Like, so I've been trying to do more of that. Like, I've been trying to like, I guess, find that like assertive energy to be like, "This is my plan," you know.
Was there a third question?
I have a question. One last question.
Okay.
I just thought about it. I guess with, your supervisor, you can kind of see if it's okay. If you could have like some type of meet Renee type, event in the classroom where you kind of introduce yourself, say what you do, what they can come to you for, that type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. And honestly, I wish I would have done that when I first started. I think it's made it so much harder. One, I started in November. So that was already kind of like, who the heck is this? And so now we're going into the third 9 weeks, and like I wish I would have started off like that and like had those like moments with those students to kind of get to know me a little bit more. It's still not too late. Like I can still go class to class and like, like meet them. But I just think it just takes a little bit of that effort. I do oh hold on. When's about that? That's smart too. Yeah. Um I've also been trying to like be strategic too. Like I'll do like dismissal. So I'll sit with students during dismissal. That's how I've met a lot of my kids at dismissal. My unofficial kids that just come up to me. Because now I have like if I have one, now I have the whole table telling me how their day went. Yeah, I got a smiley face today. So now like everybody's checking in with me every day. So like that's how I've been kind of building relationships too. But I just think, like you said, Leandra and Quinn, like it just needs to be something more intentional, like just something like kind of like a plan thing that I do, and then go to the classrooms and like spend that quality time with them. I really love the lunch and learn. I think that's so cute. That would be so adorable. I don't know how I would do it because our lunch wave is kind of crazy. Um, so all the littles go to lunch, I think at like 10:40. And then I think from kindergarten to second, I think they have waves that are back to back, and then third through fifth have their waves, but I'm not quite sure who goes to lunch when. Does anybody else have any questions?
I have this question for you, Renee. How can the goddesses support you?
So right now my biggest challenge is that I've been coming out of pocket for a lot of things. Like the gifts of love that I'm doing for the teachers, I just budgeted out of my check and was like, I'm just going to give back to the teachers. So all of those gift cards I've bought myself. All of the things that I did for the Mardi Gras parade, I bought myself. I did, well, I won't say all of them. For the Mardi Gras parade, I did get a couple people, like the fire department and some of my friends in private practice. I'm like, hey, I signed up for something, I need your help. So, but I don't want to like be impulsive like that to where I'm just like, yeah, I need this. Like, I want to be able to be intentional and have like ongoing relationships with who I'm receiving support from. And the goddesses are one of those groups that I'm like, we're gonna stay connected. So this is not like, hey, give me your money, So one of the things that I've been trying to do, like I said, were the incentives. Those are the things that are kind of pricey for me right now. I know for the parent thing that I'm doing, like just buying cupcakes or being able to like buy gas cards or, just being able to go into my account and say like, hey, yeah, I can do this for you, versus me kind of like, oh, well, let me see, so that's the best way. I know right now we have the parent workshop that's coming up. What else did I say? We have the firefighters and what was it? The financial education. Um, but I do know for sure the parent workshops and the pizza parties are where I need the most support because that gets a little pricey. But I want the kids to feel like motivated because it's testing week. Nobody likes testing week. It's a lot. They're already in class all day, but now they have to sit and stare at a screen all day and do this test. So I really want to make that pizza party happen for them if I can. But all this to say, y'all, I do have a link. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Chandrika, to answer your question, I have not gone to local businesses yet. Um, like I said, this last event that I had was kind of um like a knee-jerk reaction. It was kind of like, oh, I know somebody in private practice. Let me see if they'll be willing to give me this. Or let me ask my mom for all these numbers to the city so I can get them to come. So no, I don't have this local businesses quite yet that I can like rely on to say like, hey, like, can I have coupons from your business to give to our students and we promote you on our page? I don't have that yet. I know the site coordinator that was in the position before me, she had two partnerships. I know she had one with Whataburger, and I think she had one with Red Robin. I just haven't been out there to meet with them. I know there's some other places that are kind of close to Danley, on that Zelda Road, like little strip that I could probably ask to. Um, and I have a business letter that kind of like typed up like to inquire about whether they'd be willing to donate those things. Um, so that's something I just need to get moving on. I think I've just been kind of trying to figure everything else out. So that's on me, but I definitely think that's a great idea, like going to local businesses. And then what did Quinn say? Canva. Okay, so I did make a Canva poster. I do have one. Canva's like been my best friend since I've been in this position because I've had to make all my own things. So I made like my business cards, like I made flyers, I made everything. So I do have that, but I do like the idea of kind of like having like a pop-up, kind of like a table at open house. That would be cute. Um, I think right now I will say, y'all, this is like my trial run. Like, you know how you have like a free trial and you're just like playing around with it. I think that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to figure this role out and how to make it mine because it's so much freedom in it. But I think next school year is going to be when it peaks because I'm going to kind of have it. And y'all are giving me some great ideas. I'm definitely going to steal them. They're really good.
And Renee, as you're putting your link in for us to share with our own social work communities, I love that Shandrika, and I'm just, of all about Shandrika these days, but I love that she put, I am, I'm standing her so bad. She
Oh
said,
my
I live near Selder Road. Let me know if you need help. I don't mind politely harassing people. The reason I love Shandrika so much these days is her voice. And she's offering to use her voice to help harass people along Selder Road. So use that resource. And I'm loving that because I'm pushing Shandrika to use her voice more. She's offering to do so. So I hope you take her up on her offer.
Yeah, she is so sweet for that. Please don't harass the bones on the road for me. I don't want you to get hurt.
Well, we don't want her to get hurt. I'm gonna say school board had to start. Yeah. Oh, Quinn, thank you for that. Oh, the goddesses support each other.
Oh, thank you.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
God,
That's
I
what I
love
feel
you
like.
guys.
I feel like I came from a job that gave me like everything, and now I'm having to build my things, and I'm like, what the world?
You can
Like,
do it.
because Family Sunshine Center, like we had flyers, like we had pamphlets. My business cards were made for me. Like I didn't have to do too much. I was like, oh, I need some more flyers, and then I just go out and do my thing. So this is harder for me because I've been sitting and having to make presentations and Canva flyers for my event. So this is definitely stretching me, y'all. And I'm having to do a lot of data, and I hate data. So,
Tiffany, did you see the chat from Kimberly? Just a FYI for you to Tiffany.
but I did drop my link in the chat. I also drop it in our group me too. So
Please.
this is a link to my school bucks. So when you go in, you can directly deposit money into my account through the school. So everything in that account is through the school. So everything that I use it for has to get pre-approved. So I just want everybody to know where their money's going. So it's going into the school account. So I can access it for any events that I'm throwing. And this just helps support me, but it also supports the students. I just want to do like my best work with them and make sure they have what they need. Like I said, even if it's just a gas card here and there, like that's still supporting them getting to school. So I greatly appreciate it.
Y'all, we're going to donate, and Renee put it in the group me so the other goddesses can donate. And then it's okay to share this link with our communities as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. So if y'all have people that you know, whether they're business owners or independent business owners, whoever you feel like would be comfortable with sharing, yeah, just share it to them and let them know a little bit about what I do. And if y'all are still confused about what I do, y'all can always call me. Because I mean, in the beginning, I was confused about what I did.
Perfect. Thank you, Renee. I love this. This is one of the first times we did something like this where one of the goddesses came back and told us what they do and give us an opportunity to support you. So and with my Likia showing up tonight, I'm hoping she'll be with the second goddess who comes back and does this kind of
Yes.
thing because it was kind of fun. It was lit. I like it. I like it. So
Yeah,
thank
I do.
you.
I like it. It was really good. I just wish
Yeah.
like my Wi-Fi would have acted right. It never does. It's always when I present to y'all. Like, I don't know if it's y'all. Like, I'm kidding.
I know, right? It doesn't want me to be great, but we are
It is
cheering you
really
on because we want
funny.
you to be great. And so, but I plan to donate as well. So I hope I challenge the rest of us to donate. And
Even
not
if
just
it's like
one,
$5 or $10, y'all.
yeah.
I'll take
And not just one time, y'all. When you think about it, just, hit that could be your tithe. You know what I mean? Because these churches, but we know Renee. We never name
it.
will
You're
go to
so
the little
funny.
ones. So yeah. All right, you guys. I'm gonna stay
Yes, thank
on because
y'all.
I know somebody needs to talk to me, but the rest of you guys, I will see you soon. And Renee, thank you so much for coming back. And I can't wait for you to look at your school
You're
books
welcome.
and see all the money that you're getting to do the events for the babies.
I'm so excited. I need to send y'all pictures of some of the events I do because I hope they come out really cute.
Please